Listo. Bominos. Everybody, let's go. Come on, we can do it. I know that we can do it.
All right, I'm going to have to somehow bring more energy than Evan's bringing right now. That's going to be tough.
That's impossible. Hello and welcome to the MoxStars podcast. I am one of your hosts, Evan Kunai, and I am here with two of my favorite people in the whole world. First, we've got Jordan Garcia.
Hello, and thank you.
Hey, Jordan.
Hello.
And we've got a special guest, again, because Christopher Ritter is in Hawaii. We've got Kyle Morrow.
I'm back.
What up, Kyle?
He's back!
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
I will say the way you introed that, it made it sound like Ritter is not one of your favorite people. And now that he's gone,
I have
you get
replaced
to
him.
sit down with two of your favorite people.
It's going to be awkward next time we record.
Like, now that Ritter's gone.
He listens to this podcast.
Yeah, but Ritter's in Hawaii, so, you know.
Enjoying himself, getting the sun.
as he should.
We got to get this set review in. This is the final installment of our Phyrexia. All will be one.
We're kind of behind the times. It's already out a week ago. We got to get this shit out.
But this does give us like good insight into like how the set plays. I think like you got to see it develop a little bit to like be able to give a full opinion. So.
And we're less of those turn and burn, just follow like news cycle kind of guys. We're seeing how these things play out. Like we're starting to see how they're permeating into standard. You know how like what the draft format looks like as a retrospective after maybe 3 weeks. You know, pre-release plus a few more weeks of drafting. So I think there's a lot of benefit and value to, you know, kind of taking your time, kind of seeing how the cards fall, if you will.
Yeah, everyone just picks it up, says what their surface thoughts are, and now we've had time to like develop our thoughts and really create something special with this set review.
Yeah.
But if you like this show, if you like the MoxStars, be sure to subscribe, hit the like button, ring that little bell, and if you are listening to us on podcast platforms, thank you. Thank you so much. Share us with your friends.
Mucho preach.
Mucho preach. Today we are talking about multicolored and colorless. So we're bundling these two together. So we might not just stick to our old formula of like 2 rares and mythics and 2 uncommons and uncommons.
We just want to talk about some cool ass cards.
That's the key here. We don't want to talk about every card. We just want to talk about the coolest cards. Or, on the flip side, cards we fucking hate.
Yep.
So let's kick it off. Kyle, what do you got for your first?
Oh, we're starting off with something I hate.
Yeah,
already.
let's go.
Okay.
What you chewing on right now?
The sword. The sword
the new
of...
sword. We were literally just bitching before we recorded, so we had to record so we could start bitching.
Remember, our average runtime is 4 minutes, so you better get this thing quick.
the sword of Forge and Frontier. One, I don't love the name.
Yeah, it's actually kind of trash.
Let's see. Like any other sword. Who said they like it?
Not me.
I don't know. It's some fourth person here.
Like every other sword of, it costs 3 colorless.
At least they didn't change that.
I know, right? It's an artifact equipment still. Equipped a creature gets +2/+2 and has protection from red and from green.
Seems right in line
Finally
with what
got
swords do.
Nice.
Our so far sword.
Whenever equipped a creature deals combat damage to a player, exile the top 2 cards of your library. You may play those cards this turn. You may play an additional land this turn. Equipped 2.
Ooh, that seems very in line with what swords do.
Yeah, it's pretty swordy.
There's one more line of text that's very important, though. It's at the way, way, way bottom. What's that?
Oh, the on the border.
Scott Murphy is what it says.
Scott Murphy.
yes.
Who the fuck is that?
Who are you, Scott Murphy? And why are you making sword art?
Who are you and why are you not Chris Ron?
Yes.
No
Why?
offense. No offense. But you're trash, dude. Like, this is
Full
just
trash.
not Chris Ron.
Why'd you make this techno
I know.
hexagonal
This is the
sword?
toy.
I know
This is
he
the
had-
toy sword.
1, yeah, the sword kind of sucks. And 2, the art sucks. And 3, why is it not Chris Ron?
It looks like it's made of plastic. What are you doing?
How did we get to 2
It
left
is.
in the cycle, and all of a sudden they're like, not Chris Ron doing
Yeah.
this?
The thing is, Chris Ron did artwork in this set.
Yeah, it's not like they freaking doxed him or anything, bro. Like, he still works for them.
Yeah, it's like, Chris Ron, if you can hear this right now, blink twice if you need help.
What's going on? Are you good?
Yeah,
I
reach out.
really hope he does like an alt art later on.
Yeah. Ugh.
Like there's only
Like
that
a
was
secret layer, maybe.
that's the only
That'd be
thing I could
ridiculous.
think of was like the only way that like they I don't know, make reparations for this is have him do a secret lair with all the swords in more epic fashion. Like maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, this thing.
Whoever this Scott Murphy is, just
It looks like a cheese knife.
It does look like a cheese knife.
It's fucking stupid.
It
bro.
just looks like he tried mimicking the vibe of all of the other swords that have ever been.
Right. He's like, all right, I got big shoes to fill for some fucking reason. So he put all of the other 7 swords up on the wall in front of him and tried to
made
make
it
his own.
Kroger.
Yes.
Yeah, made a
Yes.
Kroger brand.
This is fucking. I'm from the Midwest. This is Spartan brand. This is a fucking Spartan brand.
A great value sword.
Yeah, I was about to say, overall, just great value.
Yeah, the Walmart brand. This well, now that we've gotten past the artwork and we've been,
All right.
that's clearly the thing we're pissed off most
100%. I still don't like the effect.
Okay,
It's lazy.
It
Tell
is
me
a
why.
lazy
It's
effect.
boring.
Okay, one.
poor
it is,
K.
it is protection from red and green, two colors that have artifact removal to begin with, right?
Yeah.
They had to do it. They had to finish the cycle.
They have to finish the cycle, but you would think that something within this sword might protect itself. Or try to, or make it somewhat harder, or make a bigger problem on the board.
That's the thing is like with these swords, it's so hard to live up to expectation. And once you add an additional line of text beyond it, it no longer.
yeah, they
is a
have to
sword.
follow the format.
Well, yes, but like all you do is get to card advantage.
That
That's
being
it.
said, yes, it is very low stakes kind of card here.
Yeah, I mean, Feast and Famine. How would you rank the swords? Like,
Oh my God, we're
is
doing all
Feast
of
and-
them?
is no, not all of them, but I mean, like
Feast and Famine is
it's
top
not,
dog.
like which
always.
ones stand out as the best?
Feast and Famine is always top dog.
Yeah.
No question.
Yep, War and Peace is great.
Fire and
Ice.
I think Fire and Ice is better than War and Peace.
Yeah.
But yeah,
And Steel?
Even
Truth and Justice
Truth and Justice is
proliferating
really
in
great.
this set, crazy.
Yeah. So as far as the effect goes, I get what they're doing, and I guess like it makes sense in the 2 colors. You impulsively draw cards. That's red. And you get to play an additional land.
I'm so bored of seeing red exile the top 2 cards of your library. You may play them this turn.
That is the thing that
It
upsets
is
me.
40 times every set for the last 10 sets straight.
It is not the fact that it's not powerful, because getting to see 2 extra cards is
Which decent, like Commander speaking, like decent odds of it being a land.
still a great effect. And being able to play an additional land each turn, that's probably the weakest part of the card for me. I wish it had done a little bit more.
Like how many times do you cut in like Gross Bio or like any of those just like playing additional, like the one-off playing additional land effects? It's just not.
Maybe I think that they could have done something to like scale it up in power. And let's just play a little custom magic here. What if the green effect was add mana to your mana pool of any one color equal to the power of the creature? So it would add minimum 2 power.
I love that.
And then you have the mana you need to play the 2 cards.
And
you
it
just
doesn't
exiled.
fizzle until,
Exactly.
you get it to your end step.
Yeah. That, for me, makes that card playable.
I mean, we have like a direct comparison of what green has done in the past on a sword. It's Sword of Feast and Famine. It's the best fucking one. It untaps all of your lands. And now you're getting to maybe hit an additional land drop when this deals combat damage.
Yeah. And I think Hearth and Home was, again, and this, like, we're seeing...
Shout out Hearth and Home.
Yeah, it's still great, but it's still, like, falling down as far as, like, our expectations for swords. It doesn't do all that much.
I think it is significantly better.
It is
A lot better.
because it guarantees you a land.
Correct.
And,
And it flickers.
And
yeah,
it
and it
flickers,
flickers.
which is such a high ceiling of potential value there.
The expectations for this were... Honestly, I don't think the expectations for the red and green sword were that high, but they
No,
were much higher than what they actually printed.
They actually delivered on us thinking it was going to be the worst sword, and they made us right.
yeah,
Sword of Hearth and Home is more synergistic with this set than this.
Yeah, 100%.
yes.
100%, Kyle.
Yeah.
They don't think about things like that. That would take too much effort.
Overall, do we just hate this card?
I just hate this.
I hate this fucking card.
I don't. I have every single sword. I'm not buying this sword.
I was literally telling Evan like the other week when I found out that this wasn't Chris Run, like, what if you wanted to have all of these swords? Like, as a collector,
Yeah, they look
you wanted
great
to have
next to each
Soul
other.
Cycle, and all of a sudden this sticks out like a sore thumb because it is some other guy.
This looks like fucking Doodle Bob.
And right. And it's gotten so much hate that I am almost positive, almost certain that Chris Ron is going to do the last.
Yeah,
one.
like if
he'll
you-
do the Demir one.
You
has
looked
to.
at like Feast and Famine. That's fucking SpongeBob. This is Doodle Bob, but worse. It's just like
you can't hate Doodle Bob that much.
yum, 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 yum. Yeah.
Yeah, it's trash.
All right, next
All right,
card,
let's
next
move
card.
on.
I want to talk about one of the most exciting cards from the set because I love when this happens. I love when people undervalue a card. Like, they undervalue it, and then all of a sudden, it's $40. At the launch, Atraxa Grand Unifier was a $5 card. It is 3 and then a green, white, blue, and black, so 7 total mana.
Yep.
Legendary creature, Phyrexian Angel, has the classic Atraxa keywords, Flying, Vigilance, Death Touch, Lifelink. Seems good. When Atraxa Grand Unifier enters the battlefield, reveal the top 10 cards of your library. For each card type, you may put a card of that type from among the revealed cards into your hand, put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. And then it includes that one little reminder text that includes artifacts, battle, creature, enchantment, instant, land, planeswalker, and sorcery are card types. So
Still no word of what battle is.
No word. We have no idea. We only theorize. But Atraxa, historically, very, very powerful entity within the Magic's universe. I think it has been eclipsed in a way outside of Commander. Like, this is the first 4-color legendary creature that we're seeing that is not specifically printed for a Commander set.
Right.
So it is
standard legal,
modern, binary, blah 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 blah, all the way down the chain. So the cool thing about this, reanimation's a thing.
Yep. I think that's what everybody forgot and was buying it at $5.
Yep.
It is an enter the battlefield effect. So you can potentially reanimate this for 1 mana, 2 mana, 3 mana, and you're still getting a crazy good amount of value. Regardless of how much of your hand you have to spill out to do that, to make that happen, this enters the battlefield and refills your hand with potentially 7 cards. So it's potentially draw 7. And in the past, we've known that to be incredibly powerful. The other thing that sends this card over the top is how many colors it is. It is 4 colors, green, white, blue, and black. That is important because every free spell requires you to exile a card of that color as its cost. So force of will, force of negation, force of despair, all these effects, all the evoke creatures.
Yeah, I was going to say solitude would be really damn good.
Solitude and even subtlety. It is most notably missing red, but red doesn't have any great force of effects.
We don't need red.
No, and if you're playing Fury or whatever, you exile something else. You're not going to miss this card anyway. So Atraxa in other formats is now making waves because it is, one, might as well be pitched to a stronger ability to stifle your opponents, to a force of will or what have you, something of that effect. And 2, becomes one of the best reanimation targets that you could possibly have in the game. Card advantage plus a 7/7 flying, vigilance, death touch, lifelink.
Mm-hmm.
So it eats Murktide Regent. It eats so many potential threats.
Yeah. Pretty much anything that anybody else is going to be reanimating, you will have the bigger, badder bitch.
It is the biggest, baddest bitch.
Yeah. So
super stoked on this card. I think that initially when it came out, everyone looked at it and was just 7 mana? God, that's so much to spend on this, and the effect, Niv Mizzet Reborn does more than this.
Right.
And this, yeah, I think that that card saw a lot of play in Modern as a reanimation target, and this is going to see even more play.
Yeah, Archon of Cruelty, when it first came out, I really didn't think anything of it. I drafted with it. I didn't think it was going to become nearly as expensive as it did. I thought it was going to be
such a good card.
$2 or $3 card. It's fucking great. You reanimate that, and it's just Jeej. It's so freaking good. So this is a better version of that.
Would you put Atraxa in the command zone, though?
No.
Okay.
Nope. Yes, in ways. I think that play to win. Those guys are great. They're great. We love you guys. They built they always do this best CDH commander from the set, and they did a food chain build for it because it doesn't matter. It's just infinite mana, and so you just flicker. You basically just cast Atraxa 100 times, and you pick up your whole library, and then play Thassa's Oracle and win the game.
That is not particularly interesting because any creature that says ETB draw a card, it does the same fucking thing.
Yes,
but I will say that it's a 4-color option, which you don't typically get, and especially in these colors. The only other one that exists is 4-color Omnath, because he's also food chain.
And I'd say these are just better colors for it. You get access to black here with Atraxa versus Omnath.
Tutors are pretty good in black, I think.
Yeah. So it gets you where
Just
you're
a
going. A little bit faster.
Yeah, you lose like Breach, Dockside, and Squee, and you get Vampiric Tutor, Demonic Tutor ad nauseum.
Yeah.
I think it's fine.
Yeah, it's still really good. So yeah, that's all the things. If you guys have any more like ideas on what Atraxa could be used for, please feel free to leave a comment down below.
For sure. All right. I got some shit I want to talk about. I'm gonna start with Colorless because I'm saving my juicy colored guys here. I first want to talk about Mirren Safe House. I think this is going to be such a silly, fun little card. It kind of reminds me of that black creature Necrotic Ooze, I want to say.
Yeah, that gains all abilities of creatures in graveyard.
Correct. So this is an artifact for 3 mana, and it says as long as this is on the battlefield, it has all activated abilities of all land cards in all graveyards. I don't know what this can be used for just yet, but it reads really good, and I think you could probably do some broken shit with it.
Oh, totally.
Obviously, you can do the mana abilities. You can, you could even have like a Gaia's Creator out, tap it, sack it with something, and then tap this for that ability. But then it's just, I think there's so many other crazy cracked abilities on lands these days that's what I'd be looking for. Like tap this, exile this, pay 5 mana into this. I mean, Treasure Vault, that seems pretty sick.
That's true. Yeah, you could just feed a ton of colorless mana into this and create 1,000,000 treasures.
Yeah, so Treasure Vault is a land that already sacks itself, so maybe this is the second time you're doing it.
And let's be clear, it is a lot easier to go for infinite colorless mana than it is to go for infinite colored mana.
That is very true.
Yeah, Treasure Vault is one of my favorite ways of filtering colorless infinite mana to colored mana. I think it's super cool. But I think, sky's the limit on this. Just go look at tons of cool broken lands and see what you can do with them.
It's costed very similarly to a mana rock, but has way wider of spectrum on what it can possibly do.
That's a good point.
Like Nykthos.
Yeah.
Yep.
I would definitely be targeting lands that tap for more than 1 mana.
Right.
Nykthos is awesome. Ancient Tomb. I'm thinking also,
Phyrexian Arena.
Wasteland.
Or not Phyrexian Arena, Phyrexian Altar. Or not Altar, Tower.
Phyrexian Tower is great. I'm thinking like Wasteland because it's a land that you're sacrificing to destroy something, and now you get another 3 mana Wasteland, essentially.
True.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, getting a sack outlet, just having the utility to be able to destroy things.
These are the kind of cards, the kind of mechanics that make me like scratch my brain a little bit, make me a little more interested in Magic again. Want to do some kind of weird building to figure out how to break this.
I really wish it just said it had all activated abilities of all land cards in all graveyards instead of saying as long as it's on the battlefield. I play custom Magic in my brain too much, but I really wish you could have this in your hand and it would have the channel ability. I don't think that's too broken.
That's a little broken.
That's not broken. Maybe a little bit.
I do like that it's in all graveyards too.
Yeah. You can definitely benefit off of your opponent's milling themselves or whatever. So whatever goes in.
What's funny is this can also be a fetch land.
Hey, that's actually pretty good too.
That's actually, it could be a 3 mana fetch land.
Wow.
Pretty good.
All right.
Actually, that's not half bad.
That's a fun card.
Okay, that is a fun card. I think we've talked enough about it though. Kyle, what you got?
Next card is Staff of Completion.
Yes.
Costs 3 mana, colorless, or generic. It's an artifact with tap this, pay 1 life, destroy target permanent you own, or tap this.
God, you chose the most tapped on card.
Tap, pay 2 life, add 1 mana of any color, or tap, pay 3 life, proliferate, or tap, pay 4 life, draw a card, and lastly, pay 5 mana, untap Staff of Completion.
There you go. It's so many goddamn words.
So many things.
But so is the Staff of
Domination.
Thank you. That this is obviously replicating.
Yep.
It's not as good.
It's not as good. I like this card though.
I like it. I like the Phyrexian option, the Phyrexian alternative. I think that is the caveat, is you just get slightly less quality effects, but you get the option of paying the life.
Yeah, where this is a much more precious resource. I think with the Staff of Domination, infinite colorless mana, like we just said, a lot easier to generate than infinite colored mana. So Staff of Domination, clearly just the combo outlet for whatever deck you're playing. This, you can't necessarily do that. It's a lot harder to gain.
Kill
that.
yourself if you do it. Right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I love using life as a resource.
Totally.
Yeah.
Just drain me all the way down.
This is definitely a commander card. I don't really see it being like played in many other formats.
You're gonna need a lot of time to build it up and make it happen.
Yeah, when you get to 3 mana, your plays have to start meaning more, and this doesn't necessarily do that for you. I would say that if you're playing anything into Proliferate, tapping, paying 3 life, and proliferating is probably the best rate we've seen because of it's how repeatable it is.
I was about to say, that's what I was going to say. I would use this to proliferate.
Yeah. I think it's better than Contagion Engine for that. Like
100%.
Yeah, for that.
Costing's way better with so many other options for when you don't need it.
Yeah, so you can, it's like pay 4, tap Contagion Engine at 6 mana to get it onto the battlefield.
It's 10 mana to proliferate for the first time.
Yes. Twice. Yeah. So, and then this is 8 mana to proliferate twice.
Right. With, again, the upside of drawing cards, doing multiple things if you have tons of mana.
Yeah, it's very flavorful in the way that tap, pay 2 life, add 1 mana of any color. It's just saying tap, add
Phyrexian
1 Phyrexian. Add 1 Phyrexian mana.
I didn't even think of that. I like that.
So, yeah, I think the proliferate thing is probably the strongest thing on here, even though drawing a card is also it's the best mechanic in the game. Paying 5 to untap, also, like, not absurd. I think you get in the late game in limited, this is going to take over the game.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I definitely think, drawing cards, all that stuff in a 1v1 where you're just amassing so much value is pretty freaking crazy for sure.
Trading 4 life for a card.
Not great, though.
Not great.
Evan, what's your next one?
Ooh, I'm next. I'm actually going to go with an uncommon in the multicolored section.
Spicy.
Ooh, it's Slaughter Singer.
Great
Green
name.
and a white. Yeah, great name, great artwork. It is a green and a white creature, Phyrexian Cleric, with Toxic 2. Whenever another creature you control with Toxic attacks, it gets +1/+1 until end of turn. Now, in white, I sang the praises of another Lord, Incisor Glider. This is along the same lines, except this does have Toxic 2. Mm-hmm. It does not require Corrupted. And whenever another creature you control with Toxic attacks, it just gets +1/+1 until end of turn, like full stop. So all those mites you're creating, this is like...
Yeah, that's pretty good.
This is a draft bomb. And when I was looking at the set, when this whole stuff was like spoiled, I was actually like, my preferred deck was going to be green-white. Like if I pulled one of these, I was going to be ecstatic because I wanted to play white really, really bad. Clearly the strongest color in the set, but I thought there were a lot of really great green cards to support the strategy that I was looking for. So I read this and I was like, wow, this actually kind of making your mites 2/2s. Yeah, it is actually stronger than it looks.
Can we just talk about the art and how that is a cleric and not a horror?
It's a Phyrexian Cleric.
Yes, Phyrexia has tons of clerics, and they're all terrifying.
Yeah, this one's got ribbons from its cape thing, and
is that not like it looks like bone at this point?
It's porcelain.
Yeah, it's porcelain.
Thank you.
I'm sorry.
Exactly right. It's that Phyrexian vibe.
Yeah, it's got like porcelain armor plating with like fleshy red banners hanging off of it.
Again, just reiterating the art and the lore and the flavor on the set. Awesome.
So good.
Ultimately, why I love this set.
Yeah. Mechanics.
Ooh, flavor text too. After giving in to the thrill of the hunt, he could never again return to the quiet of the basilica.
Nice.
Ooh. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, not much more beyond that. I think Toxic is really strong, just contained within the set.
Yeah.
So
notably, this is one of those flag
magnifies
post uncommons as well. So
yes.
for the draft, it's one of the gold borders. Okay, I'm talking about another colorless. I've just been hot on some of these colorless ones. They're kind of fun for me. Soulless Jailer. It's 2 colorless mana for an artifact creature, Phyrexian Golem. Love to see that we're getting some more golems. Get some golem love. It's an 0/4 with the static ability, permanent cards in graveyards can't enter the battlefield. Players can't cast non-creature spells from graveyards or exile. Okay, so this is really fucking good. It's reads like a Grafdigger's Cage at the same mana on a creature. We know Grafdigger's Cage is good. This has a few notable caveats, though. You can still cast things from graveyard or from libraries. Stuff can still come from libraries. And this shuts down things from exile, where I don't think Grafdigger's Cage does.
It does not.
Yeah. So what I'm thinking is this is a sick-ass Winota card, because this is a 2-mana non-human with a mega stacks piece written right on it.
Yeah, it is 1 more mana than Grafdigger's. Grafdigger's 1.
Fair enough.
Yeah, 1
fair enough.
colorless, but still, yeah.
Yeah. So 2-mana creature that's going to trigger Winota the turn she comes down, and is a massive stacks piece that stays out of your main game plan, which is what I was worried about when I first read this. Was like, oh, if this is just Grafdigger's Cage, that also shuts down Winota.
I think like we see the lines, right? We play competitive Magic. We have dabbled at the very least in competitive play, and one of the most popular strategies is Underworld Breach.
Totally. Yeah, I do want to talk about like how many things this stops.
Yes.
Underworld Breach is crazy.
Yeah.
It is. I think we've been talking. I think Underworld Breach is probably just the best win condition in the game at this point. It's just so resilient, so freaking good, and also great value. Did you know it was 2 mana?
2 mana and a 0/4.
Yeah. This is pretty freaking awesome. And it also stops Food Chain.
Oh.
It does.
Oh wait. No, it does not.
Oh shit! Non-creature spells. All right. I thought it stopped like multiple win conditions.
Well, that's where I was going to be like, wow, this really could have been strong, because they're not trying to do the Drannith Magistrate thing again. Like, I think they realized how harmful that was to their most popular format.
But it says or exiled, not from anywhere other than your hand. Like they lost on Drannith Magistrate because the wording was so ambiguous.
Oh, you're true. You're right.
If this just said permanent cards in graveyards or exile cannot enter the battlefield. Like, that's all you need to say.
Yeah, or
for the same effect.
Players can't cast permanent spells from graveyards or exile.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Either way, yeah. But this also, notably, because it's not casting, this stops reanimating. This stops the super popular reanimating strategy you're talking about. Yeah. Portal to Phyrexia is fucking everywhere right now. This 2 mana stops that. Nope, stop it. I wish it shut down Food Chain in addition to it, but hey, it's a 2 mana card. It does a lot of work. It
would actually be, for me, I would consider this in almost every deck. If it had shut down Underworld Breach, I would consider it if it shut down Food Chain too.
I just don't know why I couldn't have said that. Drannith Magistrate is 1 in the white, right? And it does the most insane, disgusting thing.
Yeah, it's like anywhere from other than their hand. They can't cast things. So
yeah. So I still think maybe Winota considers it. It's pretty interesting.
I know you love this card because it's a golem.
I love me some golems. I don't know why.
Yeah, you had built a golem deck.
I just love me some golems, and there was just not enough love and synergy and strategy for it. So
it's like one of those card types that is getting more love lately.
This set's showing some golems. That actually, I think there's maybe a golem commander. I don't know.
So yeah, ultimately, the flavor text on this card is the best part about it for me. Lock the door and eat the key.
Yeah, sorry, I almost forgot to read that sick ass flavor text.
Yeah, and the artwork is pretty crisp too.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Try it out. Let me know what you stacks lovers out there think about this card. If it's good, is it bad? We'll see.
All right, Kyle, let it rip.
What you got?
I have a 8-drop.
Oh shit!
Legendary artifact creature Juggernaut, Graz, Unstoppable Juggernaut.
Whoa. I love that his type is in his name.
I was going to say, get used to saying that word.
Juggernaut.
I know. I was about to say in the text. Oh, well, let's just say also 1 second. It's a 7/5.
Word.
Juggernauts you control attack each combat if able. Juggernauts you control can't be blocked by walls.
That's very relevant.
Yes, very relevant.
Jesus, so far so good.
Other creatures you control have base power toughness 5/3 and are juggernauts in addition to their other creature types.
Okay, so 8 mana, 1 relevant line of text.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm used to 1 mana, 3 relevant lines of text.
We got what we were asking for.
We got what we were asking for. Yeah. No, we asked for that our 8 mana things do more and our 1 mana things do less.
Yeah, this actually does less.
This does less than what we were asking.
Yeah, yes, it does.
It says all creatures you control are 5/3 juggernauts.
Yeah, other creatures.
So, I mean, it just makes me think go wide 1/1s.
100%,
Like
yeah.
mites. Yo, my mites are 5/3s, dog.
Except this is colorless, and mites are most notably only produced in colored format. Unless
Well, get all your 1-drop artifact creatures out. Have fun with that deck.
let me just see if I'm wrong here. I'm going to do a quick survey. You guys can go ahead and talk about this.
Yeah, I mean, Commander seems like probably not.
I don't know. I thought this would just be a fun little, like, very low power deck.
Oh, yeah.
100% low power deck.
It would be fun.
A colorless commander deck.
A colorless commander deck. I like that. We're getting some more options for that.
Yep.
I do like that. And I wonder if there's got to be enough garbage like 1/2 mana creatures.
Oh yeah,
that you can turn into
5/3s.
5/3s.
Mirrors. What else?
Soulless Jailer.
Soulless Jailer. Oh, shoot.
Thopters.
That actually.
Boom. There we go. Those are actually colorless.
There are no colorless options that create mites.
Oh,
Super unfortunate.
that is unfortunate.
Trey and
but
Forge.
makes sense.
Yeah. I also saw this card. It's not very good,
No, it's not.
but it is funny.
It is.
I don't know why they decided to make this. I don't know how this fits into the lore.
They should have made it an Elder Juggernaut. Because most notably, the Elder Dragons had 7 power, so you could punch somebody 3 times and they'd lose the game.
There you go.
Yeah. Should have made it an Elder.
Damn. Yeah.
5/3 I think is interesting. I think there's something there. And if you're a psycho, go play this colorless deck. I would rather see it in a not commander kind of focused deck.
I think if I looked at this and I happened to pull it out of like a pack, here's the thing: draft and sealed for this set. Games are often over by turn 4 or 5 because you have to have such a reliable curve. Like where Brothers War lasted a long time, there were a lot of power stones, and this would have played really, really well into that. But if you're able to get to this at 8 mana, the turn it comes down, it turns your entire board into 5/3s. You're likely winning the game. So that's where I see its power.
I just like, I mean, I guess I don't need to make an argument. This is a bad card. We all know this is a bad card.
Yeah.
I just like 1 more mana is Portal to Phyrexia. And I was just like, you need to have a board to make them 5/3s where you don't need to have shit when you play Portal to Phyrexia. It'll give you everything you need.
Yeah, but we're also realizing that there's more reanimation than ever for non-creature permanents like coming out that is justifiably
Definitely
costed.
playing with that idea more.
Yeah, so Portal to Phyrexia is never safe when it's in the graveyard. It's always an option. You always feel like it's going to come out on the battlefield.
Yeah.
So this, if I saw it in the graveyard, I'd be like, sweet.
It's not Portal to Phyrexia. Lit.
It's staying there. There's no reason to bring that out.
You're getting 2 5/3s. Got it.
5/3s. That's it.
All right.
That's a fun one.
My next little doodad here, I chose Ovika, Enigma, Goliath, 5 blue and red.
You're deviating a little bit. This is one of the commander ones, is it not?
Yeah, this is from the main set.
It's in the main set.
It is
really?
the main set, yeah.
Word.
It is a legendary creature, Phyrexian Nightmare, with a 6/6 with flying and ward, where you have to pay 3 mana and pay 3 life. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, create X 1/1 red Phyrexian Goblin creature tokens, where X is the mana value of that spell. They gain haste until end of turn.
See, this does not read like a main set card to me. This reads like a commander deck exclusive card to me. Like
Purely.
100%.
Purely.
Where's ward coming from? Where else in this set is there ward?
Let me just do a quick scan.
Like
There's, right, just off of what I'm seeing here, there's maybe like one other card in the set.
It's
with
just
ward.
like so contrarian to like what the rest of the set feels like stylistically, mechanically. I don't know. It seems very interesting.
I'm still looking, but I don't think there are any other cards with ward. So you're right. It does like very much. This is the problem. This is the beast that has been created with the game. Is Commander drives the market. So, they want to make you feel like whatever pack you're opening, you're going to get some sort of value.
Yeah, every set has something to pique the commander interest.
Oh,
Right.
one dinosaur has ward.
Oh, that's right. The Tyrannex Rex has ward. So there's 2 really big bombs in this set that have ward, very high on the mana curve. But notably, when you cast a non-creature spell, you create X 1/1 red Phyrexian Goblin creature tokens with that gain haste until end of turn. This does,
Equal to this mana value.
Yeah, equal to the mana value.
Yeah.
So
that's pretty sick.
a lot of these free spells that are cast by exiling a card, Force of Will, would create you 5 goblins.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, your board's looking real wide, and it would be a damn shame if someone played an 8-mana Juggernaut.
Now that's a sick little include in the Ovika deck. Let's go.
It's right on curve. You're 7 mana to 8 mana.
Beautiful. Just some high comp magic.
So we saw this again. I've seen it play a couple times now. It goes off. Like once you establish the Ovika on the board, it has its ward is big enough to dissuade anybody from targeting it.
What is the word again?
It is 3 mana and 3 life.
Yeah, that's pretty big.
It is big. It's one of the higher costs of ward that I think I've like ever seen.
Yeah.
The only other thing is like the Tarask that's got like ward 11.
Yeah, this is a Shark Typhoon that makes a bunch of creatures instead of one creature, and it has protection, and it flies and attacks it by itself.
Yes.
It's pretty hot.
Yep. I think once you get your roots planted here with Ovika, there's not a lot of hope for anyone else at the table. I think you instantly become like the arch enemy, like where other players are trying to combo off, maybe not so much, but it does say a lot about like I have something in my hand that's going to create me a bunch of goblins, and then when it comes around to me, once I survive, I will kill you.
Yeah, it definitely reads like a red-blue control deck with crazy fucking top end in the command zone if you're playing commander or whatever.
Notes of aggression, notes of an aggressive strategy.
Yeah, I don't ever see like myself casting. If this is my commander, I don't see I would ever cast it unless I had like Force of Will, Force of Negation.
The setup for this is huge.
Yeah, Fierce Guardianship.
Totally
some way to protect and get that immediate value at the same time. Otherwise, just spending 7 mana to watch this guy die is going to be sad.
Yeah, like I still play Zakama, and Zakama is 9 mana, right? And it feels really, really, really bad when it gets countered because you have to devote so much of your strategy to getting it out on the battlefield. Where like this is 7 mana, it's close enough, right? You're still putting a lot of resources into getting this out there. And if you're going land pass, you're never going to get there. The game will have pretty much ended by the time you got there.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of like luck involved. Maybe not, just there. A portion of your deck has to be devoted to consistently ramping to reach this mark. And then you still have to have the resources left over in your hand to protect it and generate goblins and win the game. So,
it's not an amazing card. It's not an amazing deck.
Rhystic Study is like the best card in the deck, for this because it keeps your hand full.
Yeah, you want a is it control show. Yeah, it is a pretty generalized, figured out deck at this point, just with a kind of different payoff.
Yeah, you could even play Arcane Laboratory, dude. I think that's like a great spot for this deck.
Yeah, 100%. You want to just destroy or counter the one thing that comes out each turn until you ramp up and bide your time. Everybody's exhausted, and then you're like, all right, Ovika, and then then you just really take over. It's the Niv Mizzet strategy, just a little different, fresh flavor, little update.
It's pretty great. Kyle, you got any thoughts on this guy?
I don't know. I'm just not a red player.
Yeah.
I don't like non-creature spells that much.
Yeah, it's hard for me to dabble in.
That's so funny because that's all I play.
I just don't like I hate sorceries, instants. Just not my thing.
That's fair.
Like
non-creature.
That's why the game of Magic is so exciting.
It's cool that this interacts with planeswalkers.
Shout out and enchantments.
The first
artifacts.
thing I thought with this one was like a fun like nightmare deck, like AHHH.
Oh sure,
right. But that's just kind of a flavor deck at that point.
Yeah,
fun.
It is a weird color for nightmare.
It is.
Well, yeah, you'll usually have black. this would be sick if it was a Grixis commander.
Ooh,
that would be lit, and I would actually be hyping this up way more.
Yeah,
I would have brought this card up.
Now, if this was 7 mana with Grixis,
I wouldn't be shutting up about it at all. I'd be playing this card all the time.
this would be your new commander.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, Shark Typhoon sort of like set the standard. It said, hey, I'm really freaking strong. And then they said, well, I'm going to put it on this creature. That's legendary.
Yeah.
You can have in the command zone.
Yeah, because we had like Metallurgic Summonings and I think one other option. And then Shark Typhoon came out and was like, oh, this is significantly better. Mm-hmm. And then there's this, which is significantly worse. But I think it will still not see any playability.
Not really. We've seen too many creatures come and go. There's so much like that comes in, excites us for a brief moment.
Meta-wise, Shark Typhoon still runs.
Yes.
Runs the fucking game.
Yes.
Like being able to cycle it and get just an arbitrarily large shark based off of how much mana you have. It's too good.
Yep, and 1 less mana.
Yeah, and it's what the control decks want. I don't know if this is where the control decks want. Do a control decks want a 6 power flying 7 mana creature? Not usually.
Usually only in the command zone. And you have to be able to get...
Yeah, and if you're playing that format. I'm just thinking in general, I just don't think it comes out that much.
We got like 1 more card each.
I got
pretty much
1 more card, and I'm hyped to talk about it. Mostly because the art's sick as fuck, and I'm going to buy it soon. It is Tyvar Jubilant Brawler. I am hot and horny for these Planeswalker.
Yeah, you are.
These manga Planeswalker black and white arts, I think, are so cool, so over the top, so outlandish, and that's what I really love when like Wizards started experimenting with alternative arts. So I really like looking for those like crazy, cool, unique styles.
Fits my personality.
It fits the personality, dude. And I find more nowadays, since we are so on the proxy train, that like I only want to buy cards to collect them. I want to only buy cards because I think they're sick as fuck, and not because like I need to build yet another deck, because I don't need to do that anymore.
Right.
So I'm looking at buying the whole collection of the Phyrexian Step Incomplete foil Planeswalkers, and I think they look dope. Anyway, point aside, let me get to Tyvar. He is red. He's Tyvar Jubilant Brawler is 1 black-green for a 3 mana Planeswalker. You can activate. He has a static ability saying you may activate abilities of creatures you control as though those creatures had haste, which is awesome. So we now have a 1,000-year elixir on a Planeswalker.
Tyvar loves dorks.
Tyvar loves dorks. Historically, elves. This gasses up those creatures because now you can tap all your mana dorks immediately. And so I love that kind of play pattern where you're just play a mana dork for 1, tap it for 1, use that mana to play a mana dork, tap that mana dork for 1, and you just kind of chain as much as you can.
Yeah, I think this becomes a crazy brawl deck.
I would love to try this brawl, and how flavorful that his name is, Jubilant Brawler. Not only are we done with abusing freaking mana dorks here, his +1 is untap up to 1 target creature. So now you're playing a mana dork, tapping it, untapping it, tapping it again the turn it comes out. Now all of a sudden 1 mana dork is producing you 2 mana on the turn it comes out. It's pretty freaking good. And that's kind of the floor there. There's so much more this guy can do. So many activated abilities these days. I'm thinking like Yisan. How often does your Yisan die before you get summoning sickness dealt with? Sure. All of a sudden, now you're getting 2 Yisan activations the fucking turn it comes out.
Yeah. As long as you can keep paying for it, it's great. You're getting those verse counters stacking up.
Ooh. Yeah. So I think sky's the limit on this guy. Super cool, and it honestly brings something interesting to green that I just there's not a lot of interesting things in green for me. Yes, it's green black, but I really like this. Here's the black part. The -2, mill 3 cards, then you may return a creature card with mana value 2 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. That's also pretty freaking dang.
It's really good.
So again, we love those elves. We love those mana dorks. They died, or we just want to get more. Mill your library, reanimate, keep it going. Guess what? When you reanimate it, you get to tap it immediately.
Yes.
It just reads like a really good card. It's a 3 mana Planeswalker, which historically is pretty goddamn good. And it's not like broken. It's not Oko by any means, but I think in the right deck, this kind of puts in a ton of work, and it's a value engine that's just going to keep the deck going.
I love the -2. And
the -2 is crazy.
Yeah, mostly because they've been nerfing this effect over the past couple sets by saying like mill 3 cards, and then you may return a creature from among them with mana value 2 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. This just says, nope, something that's 2 or less in the graveyard, welcome back.
It's -2 reanimated 2-drop.
Yeah, and that's where
2 or less.
I think about this in the way that Jund decks want this.
Super Jundy.
What's the best 2-drop in the game?
Best 2-drop in the game?
Probably Dockside.
Probably Dockside.
I
would imagine reanimating Dockside is pretty good.
Yeah. So in let's say a Corvold deck that wants this, or wants dorks so you can get to Corvold faster.
Yep.
You can mill 3, reanimate a Dockside, sack it to whatever ability, or you can play a Dockside, ramp, sack it to an ability, play Tyvar, reanimate the Dockside, and then just sacrifice all these treasures you're making and draw a ton of cards, and that is what Corvold does.
That's pretty Jundy.
That's Jundy.
Yeah, I like this guy a lot.
Very flexible.
Check out that alt art. He's sick, dude. His fist just throwing right at your face. Oh, it looks so good.
Super fist.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to go buy the fuck out of this card. That was my last card, and I think it's probably the card I'm most hyped on right now for this set, which is very weird for me.
To end.
Yeah, it's not really my my normal cup of tea, but I really think it's interesting.
Kyle, what's your last card?
That's hard to pick right now. I was going for the Monument card, mainly because I kind of like the sphere aspect.
Hit me
The
with-
Monument.
1 second. Let me pull it up.
Oh, the Monument to Perfection.
Yes, Monument to Perfection.
Very flavorful.
Monument to Perfection. It's a two mana artifact with a lot of text.
Jeez,
It's always my
you love these
I know.
things, dude.
You like talking.
There's a fucking
love
novel
talking.
on here.
Tap 3 and then tap the Monument. Search your library for a basic sphere or locust land card. Reveal it and put it into your hand, then shuffle. Or tap 3. Monument of Perfection becomes a 9/9 Phyrexian construct. Artifact creature loses all abilities and gains indestructible and toxic 9.
Toxic 9.
Activate only if there are 9 or more lands with different names among the basic sphere and locust lands you control.
Interesting.
This is a road. Like if you choose to play this and achieve it.
Oh,
you know,
it's
like-
going to take a while.
Yeah, like this, it would be possible
Terrifying.
if Golos was still legal in Commander.
Yes, that is very true.
You know, but I feel like they could have given it trample.
That'd be so broken, though. That's why we banned him.
Oh, Golos?
Yeah.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, because he is very, he wasn't linear. He was the opposite of that. He could do anything. And it just led to, less diversity in the game in general.
5
Sure.
stuff.
Oh, everyone was playing Golos.
Everyone. No, but I think this is a really fun land. I mean, it creates spheres, you know.
I think it's pretty
the
interesting.
new land types.
It's a
Yeah.
So following, I like to see a card that follows its own curve or creates a curve for you. So it comes down on 3 and comes down on 2 and activates on 3. I like that. That's really like seamless, very mana efficient, and especially being able to get a land off that, and maybe guaranteeing the 4th land. You're starting to turn get into the mid game there. I like that, and God, I wish you didn't have to have 9 different land names. That's awful.
Yeah.
And
The
have to be a
land
basic
names.
sphere and locust, which means you really can't have dual typing.
Nope.
No. Yeah.
They really freaking nerfed this so hard. Like, I know they're scared of what they did with what is the
Field of the Dead.
Field of the Dead. I get it, guys. But there's no world in which you were going to break this. Like, Field of the Dead was broken.
Okay, so this is like I love your point about creating a self-sustaining engine, right? On 2, tap on 3, right? You get a land,
right.
It guarantees your drop, because in limited, in draft, like I had said, the games are fast. You need to be able to guarantee your curve and guarantee your land drop. So this is a great tool for that, but you have to be realistic in
That is your only play.
in understanding that is all this card will ever do for you, because there's no fucking way that you're playing 5 colors and you play every locust and sphere card in this set. You have to play all of them.
Not to mention you're paying 3 mana every time you want to go find one of
Yeah,
those.
yeah.
Right.
Oh, did
Yes.
I draw one? Well, fuck, I gotta go pay 3 mana to go get one so I can continue down this path of defeat, constantly losing the game. Why am I losing?
Yeah, essentially this is a 5 mana, or this is a rare card that says 5 mana, search your library for a basic land.
Yep.
And 8 mana, search your library for 2 basic lands.
Boomer.
It gets a little bit better as you scale up, right? The more you activate it. But it's one of those things where I said, man, this really could have used trample, because if you did achieve it and it has toxic 9, you should win the game.
It should have toxic 10, and it should have indestructible, flying, hexproof, ward 1000.
Haste, whatever
Yes.
thing, yes.
Like,
if
you actually get that trigger, you should just win the game on the spot. You
Yes.
shouldn't even have to turn this fucking thing sideways.
it should just say unblockable, hexproof, indestructible. You win.
You should just win the game.
Yeah.
Don't even
Maybe
make
it just
creature.
says that.
There's
Yeah.
so many cards out there that just say you win the game.
Okay.
For less effort than what this
Very
would take.
flavorful. Monument to perfection. We all strive for perfection, but we all know it's never achievable.
There you go.
Aw.
Right on the money. Mechanically so flavorful.
All right.
This is a good one to talk about, though.
Yeah, the last set of cards that I think is going to cap out our Phyrexia All Will Be One set review. I wanted to bring up a cycle here in the colorless section, the Skull Bombs.
Yo,
These Skull Bombs
they're actually very good.
Yeah, they're like really, really good. We didn't talk about these in our individual colors because they're technically colorless, even though their color identity speaks to whatever mana is in their cost. But
these feel like the bombs from older days scaled up to modern day Magic.
Yes, the Spell Bombs.
Yes, correct.
And so these are actually like really good utility pieces. Even if it's just a 1 mana artifact that says pay 1, sack it, draw a card.
That's pretty good.
As 2 mana, draw a card. That's a clue.
That's a clue that
Yep.
triggers a billion different synergies. Artifact enter the battlefield. Artifact go to the graveyard. Artifact existing in my deck.
And then having an additional ability that allows you to, like most of these just like help you like recycle creature cards from your graveyard. Look at the draw Skull Bomb, or the surgical Skull Bomb returns a target creature to its owner's hand, so it can be removal too.
Yeah, these are where these start to shine for me. Is like these secondary abilities are just so much better than some of the stuff we saw on some of the spell bombs. And a lot more relevance to today's Magic.
Yeah, I think the only one that doesn't really like translate to the larger picture is the red one, because it talks about oil counters. But everything else
Set specific
is very set specific one. And all the other ones are like very universal.
Yeah, the black one, draw Skull Bomb. You return a creature from your graveyard to your hand, and then you draw a card.
Yeah,
that's a 2 card swing right there.
Yep. I think you can even take away Activate Only as a sorcery, and these are still like not busted as hell. But
I agree. Maybe the surgical one, because they don't want you bouncing stuff at instant speed and drawing card. I don't know. Still, I don't think
I want instant speed.
Yeah.
Still don't think that matters all that much. I do think the Basilica Skull Bomb, I lost to that in draft, and I think there's maybe some potential in some decks. Being able to give a creature +2/+2 and flying and drawing a card. The fact that you draw a card on these secondary activations, that's not old school Magic. That's modern Magic there.
Yeah, it feels really, really good.
Yeah. You're still getting the cantrip off of it.
Yeah, not only are these cantrips, they're artifacts. So like there was a white enchantment from the set that I was really interested in, but I decided not to talk about it. Oh God, where is it? It's the Veil of Assimilation. Such a great card, but whenever an artifact enters the battlefield, target creature you control gets +1/+1 and gains vigilance until end of turn. So it's like great. These little guys, just like even though they're cantripping, it's like, oh sweet, I just gave my creature vigilance for the turn.
Yep.
Like unreal, especially with the mites in the set. That card's great too.
And I told you I play Osgir, so I'm always looking at artifacts with activated abilities. Like
you can return and recycle because this draws your whole library.
It's drawing me cards. I play a shit ton of garbage cantrippy baubles, and I would rather play the things that actually draw cards and have effects.
What's that old school card that says pay for it, return an artifact from your graveyard to the bat? You know what I'm talking about? Bomberman combo.
Are you talking about
Auriok Salvager?
Yeah.
Yeah. Does Auriok Salvager go infinite with these if you can generate infinite colorless mana? Or the infinite mana?
I mean, he recycles them, yeah. So these are I will say the spell bombs have also, I use those in that deck for the exact same reason, because it is another outlet for it.
Right.
But yeah, Auriok Salvager, Bomberman combo, you just get LED and him going, and then all of a sudden you start returning your Skull Bombs. You just draw your whole deck if you want. I wish one said ping, because then it would be immediately in my Osgir deck, because then that would be dirty.
They really made red just like
that's what I was going to say.
Dog shit.
Why would we do oil? Like just do like 2 damage to something.
Even 1 damage, you could be like 2 mana for 1 damage to any
1 damage draw card. Fuck yeah, I would take that.
Boom.
That would be immediately going into Osgir.
Yeah, right.
But I digress because it's not, and it's oil counters. So
yeah, funny thing is, you probably wouldn't be able to kill the table with it either. It still wouldn't be good enough in Osgir because you draw your whole library before you kill everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like 120 life you have to deal with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a very fair point. Yeah. Yeah, there's way better ways for me to win in that deck anyway.
But they're worth mentioning because they're great in they translate to multiple formats.
Super cheap, generically good.
If you're out there and you're playing Commander and you're playing on a budget, these are going to be great. Like
totally.
Honestly, almost auto includes.
When you're talking about Pauper, I think +2/+2 and flying and drawing a card for 3 mana is like pretty goddamn good.
The trample to get through with the green one is actually good too.
Yeah. No, I think there's some very good viability here.
Yeah.
The 3 trample, yep.
Oh, God.
All right, guys. I think we did it.
Yeah, this has been a friggin' journey.
This is our first set review. This is 5 freaking episodes, and we just did episode 5.
The 6 episodes.
There's 5 colors in Magic. There's 6. This is the 6th episode. You're totally right.
There are. Kyle, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
It's been great.
We'll be sure to have you on again. Like we talked about, you are now enlisted by Jordan to do a deck workshop on Elishnorn.
Oh, I'm so happy to do that.
Maybe we have you on when Chris gets back from Hawaii. We'll grill you on it.
Hell yeah.
You can talk about how much you hate the deck.
I mean,
we do hate it.
I love to hate it though. It's one of those decks
because it's so powerful.
It's so good.
All right. If you guys love listening to the MoxStars podcast
as much as we do, and Kyle does,
and Ritter, who will hear this episode
eventually,
you are one of my favorite people, Ritter. Don't get mad.
Love you, Ritter.
You can subscribe to us down below. You can hit that like button, the thumbs up. It goes a long way for the algorithm, putting us in people's faces. And follow the link below, the link tree. You can follow us on Instagram and Discord, join the server, and yeah, we're just going to continue going down this sick Magic journey. We're just growing as players every single episode, every single new card that comes out, and every set review is going to be kind of awesome. I'm digging this vibe.
It's great vibes all the time. If you guys saw something that we didn't talk about and you want to talk about it, put it down below. Someone's going to win a sticker.
That has actually expired, but
it's
there's some hot stickers.
I'm unexpiring it. This is the next round.
Oh, okay.
The next round of voting is in.
Jordan's gonna send you a new.
I'll pay for this round of shipping.
Thank you guys for listening. We'll catch you later.
Deuces.
Bye bye.